What's up, guys? We're updating today the Witchcrafter deck profile. New card came out in the Ignition Assault set. It's actually a really good card. It lets you summon from the deck, in addition to activating a graveyard effect again by banishing the spell card. But it's actually a really good effect. And this is a deck made by PB.
Yep, what's up, guys? This is PB again.
Yeah, he'll probably be in the comments, or he'll have some sort of gameplay on his channel. But this deck is actually really good. I'm probably going to show you a combo at the end. Just a quick, easy, like 1.5 card combo that you can do with this deck.
Yep.
We play 2 copies of the new card, which is the Witchcrafter Genie. It's very good. So basically, this card, during your main phase, it's a quick effect during your main phase, though only, not during your opponent's main phase. You contribute this card and send a spell card to your graveyard, and the special summon any Witchcrafter monster from your deck. That's effect number 1. That effect is actually really good because it gets around things like impermanence. Like, it doesn't matter what order, whether they impermanence you first and then you respond with the quick effect attribute, or if they impermanence second because it attributes itself for cost. Like, it really doesn't matter. You're getting around impermanence no matter what, and Veiler and stuff like that. So it's actually good that it has the quick effect. But its second effect, which is that you can banish itself and a Witchcrafter spell, and then you can basically apply that effect from the graveyard. It's a really good effect, and I actually have a pretty cool combo to show you guys later with that. Play 3 copies of Petty War. She has more or less the same effect: attribute, send a card, special summon a Witchcrafter. But in addition to that, her graveyard effect lets you draw a card, and then if it's a Witchcrafter card, you can discard it, and if it's not, then you banish your hand. So it's kind of like
pottery, by the way.
Oh, what, pottery?
About pottery's the name.
Oh, pottery. Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Fair enough. Witchcrafter.
Shemeta. Yeah, they're kind of hard to read.
Yeah, I don't know what these, like, European names. I don't know what's going on here, but basically this one, during your main phase, it's the same thing. You can tribute it and send a card.
It's both main phase.
Yeah, this one is during either player's main phase.
No, the only one that's your main phase is
the first one. Yeah,
it's only Jenny. The rest.
These are quick effects during either main phase.
It doesn't matter.
But same situation. You contribute this, discard a spell, and special summon any Witchcrafter monster from your deck. But in addition to that, this one you can banish from the graveyard, and then you can send a Witchcrafter spell to the graveyard. Remember, you're going to be getting those to the hand anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Usually you'll send the buy streak to the graveyard because you send that to the grave and you get the protection immediately, so it's really good.
And we've got one Hane. She's good. She she pops during your opponent's turn. Quick effect, cool effect, and that's a good disruption. 1 copy of Golem Aruru. This is a very good defensive card. This is involved in the 1-card combo. But yeah, basically when you get attacked or your spellcaster monster is targeted, you can quick effect, special summon this, and then bounce a card your opponent controls, which is really good. Or you can add a Witchcrafter spell back to your hand. So that's like a really good effect. And then during your opponent's standby phase, you could just return this card to the hand, and you just kind of loop that nonsense all over again. 2 copies of Madame Vier.
Yep, my favorite.
His favorite. Basically, it can increase the attack of spellcasters, and then you can also basically negate all your opponent's monster effects, which is also pretty crazy. It's a good interruption card. Then this is kind of like his idea with the deck. 3 copies of Magician Soul. I know it adds a lot of like financial value to the deck, but we already have it for so many other deck profiles that we were like, might as well use it.
Yep.
But it's actually really good in this deck because you can send one of your high-level monsters to the graveyard and then special summon this. But its more important effect is that you can send up to 2 spell or trap cards from your hand to the graveyard and then draw that number of cards from your deck, which is like insane.
It's basically a +5 because you could just send a higher level one, and if you have the spell in your hand, you can just immediately special summon from the grave. Then you draw 2, and on the end phase, you want to remember this, you're going to get the Witchcrafter spell cards back to your hand, so it's not a minus.
Yeah, it's really good because you basically you activate this, send one of the higher level Witchcrafter cards, you special summon this, activate the effect to discard 2 spell cards from your hand, the Witchcrafter cards, to the graveyard, draw 2 cards, and then you're going to turn this into a Link Karibo. Like, you get so much out of this 1 card. Then for the spell cards, we play 1 Draping. This one basically lets you bounce your opponent's cards, and then all of the Witchcrafter bounce your opponent's
It's the
yeah.
bounce a spell trap.
Yeah, spell trap cards. But basically, all of the Witchcrafter cards, if you don't use their first effect, you get to bounce them back to your own hand, which is pretty busted.
The thing what you want to do with that card is activate on your opponent's end phase, then bounce a card. And next turn, because you didn't activate the card effect to bounce the spell trap, you get to add it back to your hand. So that's like the best way to activate that card.
And then we play one copy of the Witchcrafter Collaboration. Basically lets you attack twice with a Witchcrafter monster. And then it turns all your monsters into like a Utopia of Lightning because they can't respond with spells and traps. And then same thing, gets bounced to the hand during your end phase. 3 copies of Witchcrafter Creations. Search spell, very important, gotta have it. And then, of course, like I said, bounces back to your hand if you haven't used it. 3 copies of Witchcrafter Holiday. This lets you special summon from the graveyard. Very good with the higher ones. It's very good with the Magician's Soul. Witchcrafter Scroll. It's more of like a one-of. This one's okay, but lets you basically use when you Spellcaster Monster destroys a card, you can draw a card, and then its second effect is that if you have to discard for cost for a Witchcrafter effect, this can become the whole value. We got a copy of Witchcrafter Buy Street. This one's really good because every time one of your Witchcrafters would get destroyed by battle card effect, it doesn't. So it gives them additional protection.
The thing you could actually do with is, if once when you Witchcrafters get destroyed, you could actually just use that at a cost to activate effect because you already used your protection. You don't need to like keep it on the board. Then next turn you get it back. So
Right.
it's really good.
Then we play one Metal Fool's Fusion because we discard a lot of spells and traps, and like it really doesn't matter. You're gonna get it in the graveyard, you're gonna be able to shuffle it back and draw a card. It's very good. 2 copies of Hand Destruction. Because again, it doesn't like Hand Destruction is a -1, but it's not really a -1 because you're getting the cards back
Yeah.
anyway.
And you
doesn't
could
matter.
also, like, how about you say you're playing against multiple decks, they just search a card and they only have 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
You just toss that in the grade and just screw up their plays. So
Yeah, it's a really good interruption.
yeah.
Because sometimes you interrupt them at the worst possible time. 1 copy of Reasoning. If we could, we'd play it at more than 1.
Yeah.
It's a very good card, but you can't. This card is incredible in this deck because every monster is a different level. They'll never call it right, and if they do, it's not that big of a deal because you have cards to get them back. So,
yeah.
yeah, seriously, this
and
is
you could
very
even
good.
just activate the graveyard effect to just bash
Yeah,
it.
and they have graveyard effects exactly. So if it's the low levels, they'll have graveyard effects, so it's really no big deal. So the worst case scenario possibly is if they hit like
The boss monsters.
yeah, like not even the boss. This is like the worst case scenario if they hit that. But like even that, the chances are very slim. 1 copy of One Day of Peace. These are all of the limited to 1 spells. Upstart Goblin, Into the Void, Card Destruction, like all of the draw spells that are limited to 1. Card of Demise. The build is a little bit different without, if you were going to play 3 of Card of Demise a few weeks ago, before this got hit, the build would be different, but because it got hit, we get to play 1. And
I actually did top with it, so I'm kind of sad about it. But, I'm more happy that Draco's dead. Yeah, so...
1 copy of 1 for 1. This is very good too. It goes into either the Magician's Soul or the first one, Jenny.
Yeah.
But it's good for either. Yeah, this card's very good in this particular build, and it lets you send a monster, which isn't really that big of a deal.
And either way, the discard monster will have graveyard effects. So
Yep.
you're pretty much
It really
fine.
doesn't even matter. 3 copies of Super Polymerization for the interruption, and then 3 copies of the Summon Limit.
Yeah.
Let's go to the extra deck before we show that quick combo. I moved it in a weird spot. So the extra deck is a little bit weird. Let me just rearrange it here. Basically, there's really nothing that you have to play, but we play a bunch of Super Poly targets, Starving, Mud Dragon, Chimera, Predaplant, triple Mud Dragon, Salamangreat, Great Violent Chimera. It really doesn't matter. The extra deck literally does not matter. You can do whatever you want as long as you can have the Super Poly targets. Linkuriboh for the level 1s, and level 1s being the Dark Magician one. The IP, multiple Blackluster Soldiers because they're very good with the higher level ones.
Yep.
Unchained Abomination, Nightmare Unicorn, Borreload, Borosword, Zerboros. It really honestly does not matter what you do in terms of the extra deck. with this deck.
Yeah.
Like, it matters a little, like a few cards matter here and there. Other than the super poly targets, it's really no big deal. You're usually not going into them. But here is the quick one and a half card combo, right? You need creation and any witchcrafter spell. It doesn't really matter. But let me raise the bar a little here. But basically, it's a very simple combo. This can be any witchcrafter spell. This has to be creation. So you activate creation, and you search out Jenny. So now you have Jenny and that random card. You're going to normal summon the Jenny, and you're going to activate the effect of Jenny. You're going to discard this and Jenny to the graveyard, and then you're going to special summon the Madame Veer, and then you're going to activate the effect in graveyard of Jenny. You're going to banish the Jenny and the creation to activate the effect of creation out of the graveyard, or to basically apply the effect of creation out of the graveyard. This is with Jenny. And then you're going to be able to add Golem Aruru, and then at the end phase you're going to add back the whatever Witchcrafter spell that you had started with. So basically, off of one card and any Witchcrafter card, basically off of creation and a Witchcrafter card, you get a Madame Vier, which lets you negate your opponent's monster effects. You get the also it can gain attack and stuff like that. You have Golem Aruru, which is if they target it, you get to special summon this and then bounce a card, and it's pretty darn big. And then on top of that, you get your Witchcrafter spell back. And remember, this is basically off of one card.
And usually you'll end up on the board with Buy Street. Like this is something that you'll definitely like send to the grave using Shemitah. And you'll have the protection, you'll have one bounce, one negation. To attack it, you just reveal spells and gain attacks. So like they're not gonna break the board.
Yep.
And
then
you'll end up with like some limit, super poly, a lot of extra.
A lot of interruptions.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty decent combo. We kind of made a little easy. It's off of one card, really. You can also do the combo off of just the Jenny. You don't have to have the other card. You can do it off of one for one, like anything that gets you to Jenny. But Jenny's very good.
The only reason I'll say run one Jenny is because the graveyard effect, if you don't really have the spells in the grave, or if you want it back to your hand, like you don't want to banish it. So I'll say it's a 2-up card, and you can just leave it in the grave and activate it when you want that effect. So, just my opinion.
All right, that's it. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.